The Bleacher Report app is your destination for sports. Right now, the NBA's heating up, March Madness is here, and MLB is almost back. Every day there's a new headline, a new highlight, a new moment you've got to see for yourself. That's why I stay locked in with the Bleacher Report app. For me, it's about staying connected to my sports. I can follow the teams I care about, get real-time scores, breaking news, and highlights all in one place. Download the Bleacher Report app today so you never miss a moment.
Hey, I'm Josh Spiegel, host of the podcast Lunatic in the Newsroom. If you enjoy journalism that drifts into mild panic, wild overthinking, and a guaranteed nervous breakdown, Lunatic in the Newsroom is for you. It's news like you've never heard before. The only newsroom with a panic button. You'll laugh, you'll cry, and gasp in horror as the show spirals completely out of control. It's not just news, it's emotionally unstable. Lunatic in the Newsroom. Listen today.
The sun's shining, birds are singing, and all feels right in the world.
Until the season changes, and suddenly you lose your motivation to get out of bed. In fact, 1 in 5 people experience some form of depression, no matter the season or time of year.
At the American Psychiatric Association Foundation, our vision is to build a mentally healthy nation for all, because we want you to live your best life and be your best you all year round.
Please visit mentallyhealthynation.org to learn more.
Now tuned into the greatest.
So when that bag come, I won't fumble. I'm just stacking on the low, but hey, I'm tired of being humble. Let me get to it. That motivation music. Get control of your life, don't let nobody else do it. Cause I'm not gonna have matching Ep.542s cruising. Feel like you winning on the.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to The Run with me, Manny Wilson, all the way from Detroit to Chicago to your speakers and headphones. I appreciate you tuning in to the first interactive sports podcast, a community that makes sure your voice is heard. So if you hear something you agree with, you disagree with, you like or you dislike, or you just want to hit us up on the voicemail line and leave a quick take, go ahead, do that. That number is 219-413-9405. And then don't even worry. Of course, we're going to play it back on the next episode. And speaking of episodes, shout out to SeatGeek for sponsoring this episode. Get $20 off of your first ticket purchase when you use the promo code The Run Podcast. Now, this code can only be applied for first-time users on the mobile app or website. So you better go ahead, create that account, and go to one of these basketball games, one of these baseball games, or even concerts if you are interested. One of the things I'm interested in is the way that the Lakers just got their 9-game win streak snapped by my Detroit Pistons. Now, this was a lovely, lovely game. I thought it was entertaining on all aspects here. So for those of you who don't know, the Los Angeles Lakers, they were on a 9-game win streak, and the Detroit Pistons, they played the Lakers tonight in Detroit, and the Pistons won in a down-to-the-wire matchup, 113-110. Came down to a couple last-second shots, great defensive possessions by the Pistons, ended up getting some stops, great offensive possessions by Daniss Jenkins, and he ultimately led the Pistons to this victory. I give all the credit in this game here to Daniss Jenkins because, oh man, a 30 ball? A 30 ball? Pistons won 113-110, but Daniss Jenkins gave us a 30 ball, and I'm pretty sure it was also like eight assists matched up in there as well. So I was loving what I seen from Daniss Jenkins. Yep, he gave 8 assists. He was knocking his threes down, 4 for 5 from the three-point line, shot a grand total of 61% from the field. Jenkins really carried the Pistons offense tonight, and this was lovely to see, especially as someone who's been concerned about how this Detroit Pistons offense will look, knowing that Cade Cunningham is going to be out for some time. So what Jenkins did tonight gave me a lot of confidence, seeing even what a lot of other guys did. Kevin Huerter hit a couple threes. We seen Duncan Robinson get hot at one point in the second quarter, hit a good amount of threes. And when he came out of halftime, he also stayed hot and hit a couple more threes. Tobias Harris played a solid game offensively. Even a guy who's been up and down, who a lot of people don't like, Karis LeVert, had some very important buckets in this game. But aside from all of the offensive things that the Pistons did in this ball game against the Los Angeles Lakers, they still heavily relied on the defense, and this is what brought them to the winning column. So I'm so happy about it above all, and there's a couple things I do want to break down outside of just being excited that the Pistons won this ball game. So I kind of want to take it little by little. Let's take it half by half. Early on in the game, I thought the Pistons came out with some great energy. They came out. There was a lot of defensive intensity, which is the key ingredient here for the Pistons. It obviously led them in the right direction. I was a little surprised to say that we were able to get some scoring on the outside of the perimeter, just as well as the inside. Early on in the game, we seen a lot of our buckets come from the perimeter just as much as they came from the inside. Credit to the Lakers defense kind of being a little hindered. No Marcus Smart, of course. Don't want to give him too much slack because you still got to protect the paint in the best way you can. And they didn't really do a good job at doing that, truth be told. It was a lot of easy buckets that the Lakers defense gave up in the paint. And then it helped a lot that the Pistons were knocking down shots from the perimeter to start the game because Jenkins hit a couple of threes. You had Duncan Robinson, Kevin Huerter. They both hit a couple of threes in that first half. And that, of course, just makes the Lakers defense start to think a little bit different in terms of what they may have initially game planned, which could have been to protect the paint. So now that the Pistons had some shooters going in, knocking down some threes, you love to see that. And this ultimately led to some good defense down the stretch, helping us get to this 15-4 run in the second quarter. And I want to say, too, with the Lakers, I need to go back and actually see exactly what it was. And let's look at the shot chart or the shot chart for anybody who is on a live stream. Might as well just pull it up since I'm going to give you the exact numbers of it. I know the Lakers shot awful in the first half. Oh, my gosh. I'm pretty sure, don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure the Lakers shot just under 30% in the first half of this ball game. Let's go ahead and just double check this here. All right, so from the field goal, they were 41% from the field goal range total in the first half of the ball game. This is what led to a lot of their early struggles. Pistons kind of jumped on the Lakers early on. And then as you see in the first half, there's a whole bunch of missed threes going on. They only hit 3 threes in the first half, and they shot plenty of them. So that hindered the Lakers as well. Now, credit to the Detroit Pistons because the defense was there. Obviously, Luka still is going to do what Luka does. You can't really stop Luka from getting 30. That's like trying to stop a car from running on gas. Like, it's just going to happen. Like, you can't really duck and dodge that combination, especially with a guy who's that talented offensively and who's been rolling that much offensively. Now, aside from Luka Doncic, kind of still getting rolling early on. He had 17 points in the first half in his game with the Pistons. One of the things that stood out to me, credit to the Pistons here, is that LeBron didn't have a single point in the first half. LeBron, this is the first game, I think, since 2010 where LeBron didn't have a single point. He was 0 for 5. He had some assists, so he was still getting involved. He just couldn't help out the Lakers on the scoring total. And this ultimately did play a big part because second half, he was able to pick up some cheesy buckets, I'll say, some pity buckets. And he had a couple good momentum shifting buckets as well that helped the Lakers down the stretch in the third quarter. So ultimately, as you see, when LeBron is scoring the ball, it does help the Lakers a little bit. But a lot of the scoring really came from Austin Reeves and Luka Doncic, and it was a lot of forced buckets here. I mean, a lot of things relied on a whistle. It was some bad calls, bad officiating on both sides of the ball, honestly. But I want to give a lot of credit to the Pistons offense for stepping up and not being stagnant, because this was one of my biggest fears and continues to be one of my biggest fears when I talk about this Pistons team, especially without Cade Cunningham, is how well can they score the ball? And if they can score the ball enough to keep up with certain teams, not just in the East, but also in the West. And they proved me 100% wrong in my doubts of having of the Pistons not being able to score enough. So I was very happy to see that they were able to bring in some good buckets, knock down some good shots as well. Another thing that I wanted to kind of bring up in the second half here, the Lakers, they came out guns blazing. They finally started knocking down shots, had a huge momentum swing with Austin Reeves, LeBron James both hitting a couple of threes, and then Bron getting a steal. It was like an 8-point, 10-point swing from the Lakers, and it really cut that 12-point lead down to like 3 or 4 points. And this was a huge momentum shift here for the Lakers, and a lot of this falls on the Detroit Pistons. During this game here, there was some sloppy, nasty turnovers. I tell you, the Pistons did find a way to win this game, and they found a way to make things work and ultimately come across with more points than the Lakers, but man, it was scary because Cade's presence was missed for sure. And not even to go on a whole slippery slope of what Cade would have done and how it would have helped the Pistons, but there was just a lot of mental errors on the Pistons offense in this game against the Lakers. So we got lucky that we were able to keep it together down the stretch and put together these clutch buckets. Thank you, Jenkins, because there was some bad passes through some sloppy passes that was empty turnovers. We seen Asar have multiple empty turnovers that was just careless. It was careless possessions. You're throwing lobs to Tobias Harris. Some of these things was just a little questionable. So, I'm happy they were able to tighten up and actually pull it together and win on the defensive end and ultimately on the offensive end down the stretch. But it was scary in this second half because the third quarter, we couldn't really knock a lot of threes down. We struggled. And ultimately, this led the Lakers to coming back. And it was a little nerve-wracking, I will say. I'll be honest. It was scary there. And for the Lakers, credit to them because they stuck with it. But I think it was overall a really, really, really solid game. I enjoyed what I've seen here. But one of the things, too, it gives me a lot of confidence. So, obviously, we know the latest report with Cade Cunningham is he's probably not going to be coming back anytime soon. They said they were going to reevaluate the injury in 2 weeks. So now we have about a week left since the news came out about a week ago. So Cade who knows when he's going to come back. I was initially very scared knowing that Cade is not going to be in this offense and we have to rely more on Daniss Jenkins and Marcus Sasser and Duncan Robinson and a lot of other guys here. Still some questionable offensive possessions from Asar. Man, when Asar can get going offensively, it would be a huge help to this Pistons team. And same with Ron Holland. Obviously, he came in and got in foul trouble very, very fast, so he couldn't really contribute much to the offensive end. But a lot of the offense came from Tobias Harris and Daniss Jenkins. Obviously, Duran on the boards, putting up some good numbers and some solid moves down low. But the fear of me, the fear that I had against the Pistons offense not being able to thrive and not being able to win some ball games in clutch situations and tough situations, this Lakers game does give me a lot more confidence. Beating the Lakers 113-110 gives me a lot more confidence because, yes, there were stretches where things looked very nasty. We couldn't make shots. There was ugly turnovers. But ultimately, when it mattered most, we were able to put the ball in a hoop. And thankfully, Jenkins came alive. And I'm hoping we continue to see this type of consistency from him because that's going to be the deciding factor. And even more, if he does continue to keep this up, when Cade comes back into the lineup, come playoff time, hopefully at the earliest or at the latest, then this would be even more helpful because now we're getting great minutes offensively when Cade is not in the game. Now we're able to continue to keep some momentum when Cade is not in the game. I've seen a lot of great things from Jenkins. He distributed the ball really, really well. He picked his shots really well. I've seen him a lot more aggressive, especially in the first half and the second half. I mean, he was really aggressive coming out in that first half. He had 15 points at halftime. So it's only right that he finished with another 15 in the second half. And he stayed aggressive all night. So this was one of the things I love from Jenkins. And above all, everyone else on the team, Duran, he kind of struggled a little bit offensively, but obviously we know he can get it going sometimes. Definitely with the post work, the post moves, being able to take advantage of certain sets that the defense might throw at him. Obviously, he can get rolling too. So definitely a lot of promise in this game. Now, just because we beat the Lakers and snapped the Lakers win streak doesn't mean that, the issues are solved. Now, I want to say, before I say, okay, you're overreacting against a win against the Lakers and they weren't fully healthy. Obviously, the Pistons weren't fully healthy. Couple things here. Lakers should be a damn shame of themselves for losing for this. No, let's go back. Because Lakers should be a damn shame of themselves for this game even being as close as it is. And I know that the Pistons are a great defensive team. I know the Pistons can still get it going. They have some shooters that can start clicking on any given night, but they should be a damn shame to lose to a secondary Pistons team. A guy, they should just be ashamed. They should be ashamed. And for those who don't want to overreact against the Pistons or who may say I'm overreacting against the Pistons, no, I'm happy the Pistons won this ball game because it's hard to beat any team with momentum. You got to remember, and you got to keep in mind, the Lakers have won 9 straight games coming into this matchup against the Pistons. The Pistons just beat them 113-110. That's not easy to do. We obviously didn't have Cade Cunningham, and we still ended up finding a way to win this ball game. It's not easy to beat a team that has a lot of momentum going in their way right now. And that's what the Lakers had. So I know everyone wasn't healthy on that Lakers team, and this and that, fatigue, all of these other excuses, but no. Everything has been going in their favor over these past few games. They had a huge win the other night off of a buzzer beater with Luke Kennard, all of these things. So there was a lot of momentum in the Lakers' favor, but for the Pistons to defend home court like that, that was huge. And I don't care what anybody's saying. I know it's regular season. I ain't saying it's the championship or nothing like that, but that's a solid win, especially when you don't have your starting point guard on the floor right there. So I'm proud of that Pistons win, man. I love it. And you know, it gives me a lot of confidence. This type of win gives me a lot of confidence going to the back half of the season, knowing that we may not have Cade for the rest of these games and knowing that we might not even get Cade back into the playoffs. It just gives me confidence. So even if Cade isn't back in the playoffs, I feel like we can still win a playoff series. If Jenkins continues to be consistent like he was, I'm confident we can win a playoff series. I'm just saying. So definitely some things we got to clean up. I need to see some things that's a lot better from Asar Thompson. Obviously, defensively, he's going to always show up, which I love. But come summertime, we got to see that offensive game. He got to put in some work on that offensive game, man. Because I love what Asar brings to the floor, but sometimes just being a great defender is not enough to be able to like truly elevate this Pistons team and help them reach their full potential. Because as my guy Eric said last week, man, I had him on the show, and he said sometimes like Asar isn't even aggressive on the offensive end, and that's what really hurts us because teams are able to just sit back and anticipate him trying to go in for a layup or anticipate him trying to pass out and kick to somebody else. So to me, like, you know, that's what's really hurting us. I love that some other guys who come off the bench, Ron Holland stays aggressive, getting a lot of foul trouble though, very scrappy. I don't know why JB Bickerstaff has such a short leash with him, but he does. It is what it is. Other than that, though, it was a solid win tonight. I'm happy about it. Definitely something to build off. And then next week, not even next week, actually, just next game, I think a couple days from now, we see another dog of a team. Actually, no, I don't think it's a dog squad. Let me pull it up to be 100% sure. No, Hawks have been on fire lately too. So yeah, it's not gonna be a cakewalk when we go against the Hawks. The Hawks are definitely a team. They've been hot at home court. Luckily, the Pistons can play them in Detroit, so it's not gonna be too crazy, but it's still gonna be a game that you're gonna have to lock in for because the Hawks have been playing really good basketball lately. So it's a good chance that the Pistons come into this game sleeping and they might mess around and fold it. So I'm excited to see that matchup with the Atlanta Hawks. That's happening Wednesday. So I'm excited for that. Other than that, man, solid win for the Pistons. Leave us a quick take on our voicemail line, 219-413-9405. And, you know, we'll play your take back on the next episode. And just a quick positive note for everybody who's out there listening. It'll just be as something or simple as something as take the wins when you get them. Take the wins when you get them. We so quick to highlight when things ain't going good, when we so quick to highlight the losses that happen. So take the wins when you can get them. Apply that to however you want to apply it. But, you know, it's something I'm also trying to do myself. Take the wins when you can get them and, you know, don't dwell on the losses too much. So other than that, that's all I got. Hit us up on Instagram at The Run Podcast, Facebook at The Run Podcast, YouTube, The Run with Manny Wilson, all other podcast platforms, The Run with Manny Wilson. And until then, we'll be back later on this week. And so on and so on and so on.
The Bleacher Report app is your destination for sports. Right now, the NBA is heating up, March Madness is here, and MLB is almost back. Every day there's a new headline, a new highlight, a new moment you've got to see for yourself. That's why I stay locked in with the Bleacher Report app. For me, it's about staying connected to my sports. I can follow the teams I care about, get real-time scores, breaking news, and highlights all in one place. Download the Bleacher Report app today so you never miss a moment.
Hi, this is Alex Kantrowitz. I'm the host of Big Technology Podcast, a longtime reporter and an on-air contributor to CNBC. And if you're like me, you're trying to figure out how artificial intelligence is changing the business world and our lives. So each week on Big Technology, I bring on key actors from companies building AI tech and outsiders trying to influence it, asking where this is all going. They come from places like NVIDIA, Microsoft, Amazon, and plenty more. So if you want to be smart with your wallet, your career choices, in meetings with your colleagues, and at dinner parties, listen to Big Technology Podcast wherever you get your podcasts.
If you like the show, please take a moment to rate, review, and subscribe. It really does help the show to grow. Thank you for listening.